Fema.
FEMA stands for Federal Emergency Management Agency.
FEMA was founded on April 1st, 1979.
FEMA's purpose is to lead Americans to prepare for, prevent, and recover from disasters with a vision of a nation prepared.
FEMA remains in the Emergency Preparedness and Response Directorate of the Department of Homeland Security.
So, Dr. Gomez, how has FEMA developed over the years? Can you include some highs and lows?
Well, a high would be FEMA has enhanced the capacity of state and local government emergency management. Since Hurricane Katrina, FEMA has provided $6.7 billion to more than 1 million individuals and households. FEMA has also provided more than $15 billion to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida for thousands of public work projects, including the repair and rebuilding of schools, hospitals, roads, police and fire stations, and historic buildings. A low would be FEMA was blamed for the lack of preparedness after Hurricane Katrina back in 2005.
So, Will, how much funding has FEMA received in the past fiscal year?
FEMA, thank you. FEMA, in 2018, FEMA has received a resource budget of $15.2 million.
How many employees does FEMA have?
Well, Kelsey, FEMA has a total of 9,106 disaster assistance employees.
So, who is in charge of this department or agency?
William Brockman Long serves as the administrator of FEMA. He was appointed by President Trump in 2017, and also Peter Gaynor is now the acting administrator of FEMA.
What are the basic duties of this department?
The basic duties of this department, of FEMA,
That's the department we're talking about.
consist of coordinating the federal government. Coordinating
There we go.
the federal government role in preparing for, preventing, and mitigating the effects of responding to and recovering from all domestic disasters.
Why is FEMA still important today?
FEMA is important today as it works to organize and coordinate government-wide relief efforts to prepare and prevent for inevitable natural disasters. We also save lives.
Oscar, how does our agency carry out its laws?
So, our agency begins with the Congressional Act of 1803, the first piece of national disaster relief legislation. Also, Congress has used the power of the purse to provide funding and relief for the United States areas struck by national disasters.
How does FEMA interact with other branches of government?
Well, they make recommendations to the U.S. President whether to declare a national emergency or not. They also receive money from Congress.
FEMA!
As members of Napa County, we don't need to think too far back to remember what it is like to be in the middle of a natural disaster. FEMA is the government agency that is most helpful to communities struggling to rebuild and recover from incidents such as wildfires, which we experienced in the last year. If the past few years are any indication, the number of natural disasters that the United States will need to respond to will only increase, and this is no time to cut funding from agencies such as FEMA. It is true that cleaning up after natural disasters is an expensive process, but failing to get these communities back on their feet means that these sectors of the country can no longer contribute to the nation's economy. Therefore, we are advocating on behalf of continued funding and expansion of the FEMA program.